Hey, continuing with the requests. I feel like I saw someone request this one, and it's an oldie but a goodie. You remember, remember People?
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the people. Smoking CO2, see me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the dancing on the people. I got people. 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 Dancing on the people. I got
everybody in the booth can tell myself apart from you. Now that we're dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people.
purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the people. Smoking CO2, see me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the roof, hanging from the people on the people. My hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the people, dancing on the people. I got
Dancing people. I got people.
people.
Dancing with me. Everybody in the booth can tell myself apart from you. Now that we're dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing,
Dancing on the
people,
people. I got
dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people. Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the.
Yo, that's kind of a bop. Damn, think of all the people. I guess doing this fine evening. Switched it up, no more Japan. Time for Midwest America. It's a beautiful day outside. Look at that. No sun. Precipitation. Little fog in the distance. Perfect weather. Probably kind of chilly too. Casual, clammy, dank enjoyer. Well, I mean, it fits the weather, doesn't it? A little bit. People, never heard of them. Yeah, I don't try to interact with them too much. It's getting too hot outside for your Canadian ass. Same. Yeah. When the temperature outside gets to about 60, that's as hot as I ever want the planet Earth to be. Then again, I temperature control my wizard tower via air conditioning, so it's good enough for me. CGO Buster, thanks for the tier 3 during the intro. 51 months, 51 streak. Perfection. Excellent choice, sir. Thanks for liking my stuff. Hey, whoa. You shouldn't speak up on people, or sneak up on people like that. I misread it. Oh, next month you'll have to submit one where I don't misread it. I was watching Plibet stream. I know what that references to. Good old Plibet. Been listening to so much Pete Seeger lately. Pete Seeger. I don't know who that is. Gets more like shits? Well, I hope not. we've been kind of on a roll recently. The first two were very nice. Third one was all right. I saw what they were trying to do, and I appreciate that they were trying to do it. I don't think they quite succeeded, but I like the direction. Now, day 4. Let's see where this roller coaster of emotions takes us. Shall we? Global warming is a serious threat to your basic comfort. Same. That's my biggest problem with it. The droughts and the famine and the habitats and all the people dying and stuff like that. Like, that's bad, I guess, but my basic comfort is the thing I'm most concerned about. Global warming bad. Sorry to get political. Good evening from a galaxy far, far away. Jim Rendo, my favorite Star Wars character. Man pilots a spaceship of some kind. Yeah, we'll get him next time. Painting Troggoths of the rock gut variety. You know, they got some big hits, those rock guts. They're slapping people around. With them attack profiles. Gentlemen of Girth. I don't have any stories to tell. Generally, I have an anecdote or something in between my streams. Because from Monday to Friday, there's a 33 1/3% chance that I went outside one time. And in doing so, I interacted perhaps with humanity in some way. And so there's like a story to tell. But this streaming everyday business, I'm losing touch with the lost touch that I once had with even a fraction of the outside world. Apologies. No funny stories during the walk. Funny enough, a lot of your acquaintances are trying to get you to check out the SWOTOR updates. The SWOTOR updates, huh? I don't know anything about that. I played Star Wars The Old Republic when it came out. But haven't even thought about it since. So I don't know what they're doing. You're really happy to see the new Skaven rules. The fact the Brood Terror doesn't have a ward on its base datasheet is sad. Yeah, that is true. But they gave you some opportunities for building around. And some nice synergies besides. Ain't bad. It gets to a weird spot because you kind of don't want to have every monster have a ward. But from a player point of view, if you're looking at a monster's war scroll and it doesn't have a ward, you're just like, this thing sucks. It's just going to die. So it's kind of a push and pull, I suppose. Andor is peak, the best Star Wars thing ever made, in your opinion? Oh, wow. Maybe I should watch it. At one time, I called myself a Star Wars fan. But then I stopped being a Star Wars fan because I stopped making good Star Wars stuff. Perhaps Andor is good. Apparently there was a graphics overhaul and you may have a ton of currency from having two-factor authentication set up. Graphics overhaul. A little less cartoony, maybe. It was looking a little bit like the Cartoon Network show. Not quite, but it did have a cartoony look to it from what I recall. All those years ago. They either need a ward or better than a 5-up save. I mean, a 5-up save is just like construction paper. It's paper mache. Remember when Tor was supposed to be the game killing Star Wars? Good and dumb times, yeah. Andor is what if Star Wars was good. Man, that's gonna have to be something real weird. What's it on? I don't pay for any subscriptions to anything. Well, that's not true. I subscribe to Twitch so that I do not see ads. And I watch a lot of Twitch. And so I miss a lot of ads, which is time, and time is money. And I watch a shitload of YouTube, and I have YouTube Premium. Means I don't watch any YouTube ads either, but that's it. I don't have anything else. Pirate sites mostly? I mean, sure, yeah. Disney Plus? No thanks. No thanks. I'll find some Uzbekistanian website. Have the basket weavers there stream it to me. Behind 7,000 routers and Brave browser. I ain't giving the mouse a dime. Yeah, the way God intended. You couldn't get into SWOTOR because it butchered too many of your Blorbos from KOTOR 2 and stuff. Yeah, I feel like this is, I say just, and that's wrong, but you were just in the wrong mindset to enjoy SWOTOR. Because if you were driving to SWOTOR town, and you were like, this is going to be a continuation of how good KOTOR was. This is going to be a third KOTOR, except online. That was not that was not the right mindset to be in. It was like, I like MMOs and I like Star Wars, whatever. That was a good mindset to be in. And I have some friends to play with for a month. It's Star Wars without Force shit. Just clunky 70s looking sci-fi tech and intrigue. It's a series leading up to Rogue One. Okay. Remember when you stopped going to pirate sites because one sub got you all the streaming? Now 70 streaming services and you're back to pirate sites. It's like dropping one tear into a glass of water in super slow motion, right? It starts as one water droplet and then it hits the surface of the water and rings of waves move all the way out and then they hit the edges. And then they come back in, and then they go back out again. That is your viewing experience for media. You can find it all in one place, and then they break up into a million pieces, and then all of those die because no one's going to sign up to 20 fucking things every month. And then people buy things, and companies buy companies, and then it's all one thing again, and then it breaks up again, and this is the nature, the way of life. The only thing you have to do as a responsible consumer is, if you are paying a subscription to watch anything, you're paying money to watch it, and they decide one day to show you commercials anyway, pull the ripcord, drop the nuclear bomb, jettison out of there instantly. Get out. It always happens. It's only a matter of time. But if you're paying to watch and they show you ads any day, anyway, one day, get out. It's the beginning of the end. The stink of a corpse. Me paying you is your money. You will not double dip. Thou shalt not suffer an ad to be watched, especially if you're paying for it. If it's free, then you can't say shit because you aren't paying anything, right? But if you're paying for it, get out of my house. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the matter. The cycle continues. We have abandoned many things that over-advertise. We shall abandon more. The migration continues. Yep. Discord just got bought. I'm sure eventually that'll go to shit. Twitch can almost not even support as many ads as it's running at the moment, but as long as you get Twitch Turbo or subscribe to the streamer, you still don't see any ads, so it's still safe. But the day Twitch puts ads in front of you, even though you're paying, is the day the website will die. So I'm just here until it happens. I will not watch ads. I'll pay you. I'm willing to pay you. Like Gmail being free, I'll give Gmail money if you don't show me ads at the very top of Gmail, right? Like, I'll pay for it. That's fine. How much money are you making on those ads for one individual human? Couldn't be more than 1 cent, right? I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1 to fuck off. Andor isn't, in my IMO, really about the formation of the rebellion and what it takes and what these people had to sacrifice. Okay, that's actually what I have been missing from Star Wars, truly. The two sides of the Star Warsian conflict. You have the Empire, whomst are the bad guys, modeled very completely after World War II, right? The Empire are just Nazis, thematically speaking. And the movies and the setting and the story does a pretty good job of portraying them as the bad guys, right? And the rebels are supposed to be the good guys. But I feel the movies do just a terrible job of making you want to root for them, besides the fact that they happen to be the main characters that you're supposed to root for, right? The rebellion is just filled with a bunch of random idiots that can't govern, and just random squalor people. Like, it's all like, why would I want to join the rebellion? I don't know. Especially in the new movies, the new trilogy and stuff. I'm just like, these people are idiots. Everyone here is retarded. I actually hate them. At least the bad guys look cool. So anyway, that's kind of like my problem with the Neo Star Wars kind of stuff. You don't get brownie points just because you're oppressed. Like, show me why you're heroic. Show me that your way would be better. Anyhow. Maybe they're too down with authority for their own good. And even the authority within the rebellion they have to portray as brainless and stupid. Maybe they've gone too far in the anti-authority thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's like a 30,000 foot view complaint. I mean, maybe society as a whole does, and if you look outside your window every once in a while, as I do, it's possible that it's true that society does need a decent reminder about the abject failures of fascism and why the bad guys are bad. But to me, it's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, we know. Yeah, they're obviously bad, but now show me why the good guys are worth rooting for, besides just happen to be the other team. I'm a random idiot. Same, dude. Same. Luke is a terrorist. Never forget all those people he killed on the Death Star. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Andor does a good job of showing the internal... Oh, wait, I read that. Terrible point that people won't stop repeating. Me on my way to my unproblematic job on the Giga Murder Death Factory, 1 million as an innocent civilian. Sure. I think they explained that away. It was a common critique 30 years ago, right? Think about all the workers on the Death Star. Considering how the Empire runs things, you gotta imagine a very high percentage of them were probably basically slaves, you know, with no choice in the matter as to what career they would have. Perhaps many of them were droids or something, right? But that kind of thought isn't... It's too deep for what Star Wars is trying to do, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad excuse. But you can't think about these things too hard. It's for children. Bad guys blow up. Like, that's about as deep as you ought to get with these things. Otherwise, it muddies itself. You Xerox it into real life, and suddenly it gets complicated. If only it were that easy. That the bad guys wear black, and if you just blow up the leader, everything's fine. Yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin killed 7 billion people. Yeah. Not too good. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Guess there was a top-level military installation. No one was there who wasn't a devout loyalist. I mean, that's what I would say. You got to get around it somehow, right? And so you got to say something like that as the creator, right? He blew a dang planet up as a flex, which, while cool, is evil. Yeah, I mean, it's metal. It's fucking metal to do that. Obviously evil, but, you know. All the people on the planet were rebels. It was justified. That's what the Galactic News Network told me. True, this is war. Look, it's war. Luke isn't a terrorist, he's a soldier. Darth Vader isn't a terrorist, murderer, psycho, warlock. He's a general. Simply war. War bad. What's that phrase? Ultimate power blows up entire planets. Can't believe Darth Vader keeps blowing up clearly marked aid vehicles. Yeah. Hey, those aid vehicles had rebels driving them. I saw it in Rogue One. He was right. Those weren't guns, it was camera equipment. Terrorist and freedom fighter, it just matters of perspective. Usually, yeah, although there is an extreme. Like, when the things you're doing become a certain level of fucked up, it really is just terrorism, you know? It kind of depends, right? Typically when you start involving civilians on purpose, it's hard to keep your hands clean on the freedom fighter half of it. You can tell Tarkin is evil because he's British. That's the funny part. Yeah, that's the connecting line. British accent equals evil is what Star Wars has taught me. I have no right to let them live. The Empire does look cool. You always admit that. Love you some triangles. Yeah. I truly believe, and this is really shallow, but so are people. I truly believe that if the Empire, evil people, fascism itself, if it didn't have such a good style and look so cool, no one would give a shit, and it wouldn't even be having a resurgence right now. It really is that powerful to look fucking good. too powerful. Why doesn't the good side start to do that? Rule of cool, man. Like, why don't... I just don't think maybe they underestimate how important it is to look fucking badass. The good guys, I mean. They better get on that. The X-Wing does look dope, and TIE Fighters do look stupid, so there is that. They got that going for them. Good guys can't have cool stuff or no one would join the bad guys. Well, yeah, but we don't want people to join the bad guys. But you know, your point is well taken. Fascism is based in aesthetics at its core. Yeah, that truly is the case. And beyond just looks, right? Like, aesthetic views on things that are like, you know, demonstrably wrong, but it doesn't matter because it aesthetically feels right or answers a question or solves a problem, yeah. So it goes deeper than just that. But look, the left has plenty of shit that absolutely wouldn't work in real life demonstrably, and they still love it because of the aesthetics. So why can't they dress cool? Get a few more people on the side. I don't know, I'm gonna write him a letter. You guys gotta do better. Just aesthetically. You got any more VTuber recommendations, HeyWoah? Asked Constance Screamin'. You mean like new ones? Man, I don't know. I'm kind of set in my ways at this point. I've been watching Plibit. Plibit's probably the most recent one that I've been watching. LOL, not Cinder. Cinder. She's the red. She's the orange one that does like rock music or something. I think Jupes showed me one of her songs. It was okay. But yeah, I watched like 5 minutes of one of her streams, but I didn't appreciate it at all. She seemed like, damn, I don't know how to say this without being cruel. Okay, people have an act when they're Twitch streaming, especially if they're a VTuber, right? They have an act, right? And they're playing a character. Hers, I felt, was so obviously fake that it really turned me off. Similar to Fillion. Just like so phony. Maybe I should... I don't know, Twitch doesn't like it when you badmouth people, so maybe I should get rid of the VOD or something, but I'm sorry if you like Cinder. There was a lot of drama with her lately. Oh. Okay then. You've been watching Plibit, and they're great. Yeah, if you like brain rot, you know, she's funny. And she plays super old games that are terrible, which is something that I particularly like. You've been watching Fauna lately. Okay, the new Fauna. She's a bad person. You can be as mean as you want. Oh no, was there a... allegations or a twit longer or something like that? I probably can't speak to there was a full thing. Okay, well, I probably can't speak to any particular part of it because I haven't read up on it. A lot of stuff with her. It's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess my radar still works. VTuber. VTuber Drammer. Yeah. You haven't read any discourse or what have you. Yeah, since I didn't watch her anyway. And I tend not to watch anybody she interacts with either, really. I like Yuzu, the giraffe lady. Well, giraffe in real life, but the moth lady. She's kind of funny every once in a while. Who else was in that? Like the big whale, the German whale lady. I don't watch her. Bao. I don't watch her. What was the other one in that clique? I don't know. There's a few more buff popping other people that are all kind of like hanging around each other in gamer subs and stuff. You mean brutalism due to a lack of resources? Hey, I kind of like brutalism if we're talking architecture. I kind of like it. But I guess I like it for how fitting its name is, I guess, and imposing and cruel and empty it looks. The whales. Pretty funny, too. Skaven behavior. Must say, though, as a big-time leftist, if you like Stalin in 2025, I'm paraphrasing here, I got a bridge to sell you. Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you're, like, super young and you don't know anything, it makes perfect sense that you might fall into a trap like that, you know? But once you're maybe 20, I don't know, or if you decide to look into anything. Who's behind the scenes sabotaging her friends and other indies around her? Oh. Cutthroat, do anything to get ahead. Seems like a bad idea in such a networking reliant sphere. Networking is so important in the VTuber world that it seems silly to burn bridges of your own friends for no reason, but hey, alright. I shouldn't just say that because I don't know. I mean, maybe everyone's wrong and maybe it's not true, or maybe I need to read up on it. I don't want to do the what do you call it? Breaking news thing where I don't know about it and someone in chat is just typing and so I go with it, and then what if it's wrong or something? It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. She admitted to it because she got caught. It's not allegations. Well, okay, fair enough then. Yeah, I love the vibe music, man, the P5. I can't wait for Persona 6 in 2033 to come out on the PS7. And we're gonna play through that shit on stream. It's gonna be great. You bought a candle that smells like Fruity Pebbles. Man, everybody's all concerned about drama, and then this guy's over here like, I bought a candle, smells like Fruity Pebbles. Shit's great. Yeah, great. Isn't Dude coming out? Yeah, Dude 7 or however many there are now. It's coming out, I think, next week. I hesitate to call it very Doom-like because it... I mean, you have a shield. I don't know how fast you're exactly going. I don't know. I hope it's great. I'm probably gonna get it and play it for a while. Slow Doom, maybe. I don't know. I really like Doom 2016. Doom Eternal went in mostly the wrong directions, but I still enjoyed myself. I'm hoping that it doesn't continue to forget all the lessons I thought it learned with the first one. Shut the fuck up with the story sequences. Stop the cutscenes. No one gives a fuck. 2 bullets per gun like you're in the fucking arcade waiting for quarters. No. Fast, shoot, jump, spin, hot swapping weapons. Remember the olden days. It's Quake 6. Oh, okay. I mean, I liked Quake 2. I like Quake a lot, actually. Curious how the soundtrack will sound. Is it what's his name again? The guy who redid Killer Instinct and did the first 2. I think Bethesda like fucked him over somehow, so it's possible he might not be back for this new one. No, they burnt the bridge. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, Mick Gordon, that was the guy. He did a good job, I thought. I liked his Killer Instinct stuff, and I liked his Doom stuff. And he hid pentagrams and shit in the waveforms. It was fucking sick. Or the, what's it called? Spectrograph? Wow, jeez, I can't remember what the thing is called. Something. Spectroscopy? I'm not like a music guy, so... Yeah, I'm an editor, not a sound guy. You watched the GDC he did and loved it. Yeah, he's kind of a rock star. And if he was 1% more artsy snobby, he would be unbearable. But he's just up to that line. It's not too far. He has to take one step, and then it's probably going to be too much. He'd be annoying at that point. But he's just right up there. So he's safe. Anyway, next week is Dude, aka Quake 6. So that should be fun for a few days. I gotta think of stuff to do when I have time for a stream. Because I'm streaming every day. Oh, chat. Somebody tell me. Is Warhammer doing these things Saturday, Sunday as well? Or is it just weekdays where they give us the info? I'm asking for me. Wondering whether I get a weekend or not. Because if Saturday, Sunday are going to get news posts as well, then I just won't have a weekend for the next month. They usually skip weekends and for most news posts. All right, I'm still gonna check it Saturday though. So if there is one Saturday, I'm streaming. That's all there is to it. Your hot take is that when people are saying things like just shy of the degree I dislike, a lot of the time that's not true. The thing just makes them unable to deny liking it. No, you don't understand, Bard from Entry. I have a degree in fine arts film, all right? I can get extremely unbearably pretentious and artsy-fartsy if I want to be, and a lot of it I like. It's my concern for others, generally. It's like a warning sign, you know? I'm holding myself back and letting other people know that something or other might be a little too much. I watch Bella Tar movies on purpose, for fuck's sake. But I wouldn't recommend it to someone else, right? I'd be like, probably wouldn't like it. But it's not like a hipster, you haven't heard of it kind of thing. It's just like I understand that this is probably too much for most people, and I get that, and I'm trying to be accommodating. You watched Wreckminster Harmon? Oh, did you? Oh. What'd you think about it? As if you could talk about Wreckmeister harmonies in 240 text tweet format on a Twitch chat. You liked it? That's good. Yeah. It was a slow walk up a spiral staircase to the top of a mountain. For one grand volcano eruption of emotion at the end. Is what I took it as. You have a degree in fine arts. I have a degree in big farts. We are not the same. Struggling to think of something pretentious that you like. Would you agree? Yeah. Sarah J. Eisenstein. Filmography to all your potential partners to make sure they understood what's going on. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The baby carriage down the stairs. Alright. Was Kuleshov working for him for the Kuleshov effect, or was that after Eisenstein? I can't recall anymore. Yeah, Jay Bauman behavior, actually. Good shit. You can tell there was a lot going on, you just don't have the time and energy to analyze stuff on the degree I think it demands like you did in school. No big deal. Movie like that, you don't need to overanalyze, just accept the feelings that wash over you. That's kind of a David Lynchian way of explaining it, but that's fine. It's for your heart, it's not for your brain. You think Cynic Douche New York should kill itself, though? I couldn't stand that, yeah. Look, Cynic Douche New York, the movie, requires all the pretentiousness that the other things we're talking about require, except you also have to live in New York or give a fuck about New York. And if you don't, you'll never get it. It's like Spider-Man. Isn't Kuleshov Mr. Editing makes meaning? Yeah. And temporal stuff like you can take a reaction shot of an actor, just a generic reaction shot of them, with no meaning behind what they're supposed to be portraying, and cut to something else, and then the audience thinks that the actor's reaction is because of that thing, and then they're like, oh, what a good actor. They really looked hungry when you went from bowl of soup to the actor's face, or the baby smiling and mewling, to the person, or the axe murderer raising his axe or something, and then the guy's, you associate it with that, and he was like the one, I guess discover is the right word, but kind of figured that out, that people's brains will just straight up connect all the dots whether they are real or not. And so that might seem really, what do you call it? That might seem really basic, but I mean, this was the very beginning of all of it. Like, people were figuring this stuff out. Another example, even though it's slightly different, would be, remember in Lord of the Rings, when the king is eating his disgusting meal and then all his men are dying and he's like biting into tomatoes and stuff, It's like that, you know. You're pulling two things together and making a statement about each. Charlie Kaufman makes movies for me. Well, he did. You watched Bella Who's movies? Is that the guy who tried to steal one of Ben Stiller's ideas? Good meme. No building. Not me. You're immune to such tricks. The wizardry of the movie ghouls cannot affect you. You always see the gears and mechanics outside of the frame and you can't turn it off. I haven't found that to be the case. I can manage. I don't have to microanalyze everything if I'm watching a movie. I can still observe it as an audience, which I guess is kind of lucky. And speaking of Flesh Eater Courts, we need to have that one. You see the Matrix code. Flesh Eater Courts, but their delusion is just thinking Adam Sandler is Spielberg, when the truth is that Spielberg isn't even Spielberg. Unless he's doing Rin Tin Tin. He fucking loves that. And you could tell. It was the first time he tried in 30 years. And you can tell. He's still got it. He actually just doesn't give a shit about anything he does anymore. That's the only problem. Senor Spielbergo. His Mexican counterpart. Yeah, non-union. Man, I should see a movie. You know, I almost saw a movie a few days ago. I almost went to see a movie. I stood up in my empty wizard tower, having finished my work, and it was like 7 something at night. On a Friday? No, it wasn't a Friday. Must have been a Thursday or something. I don't know what day it was. But I stood up and I'm like, I feel like having a big tube of popcorn and watching a motion picture. I just feel like that. That's what I want to do right now. And so I stood in my doorway and opened up my phone and I'm like, well, okay, what movies are playing? And then I just started working on something else. But I almost did. Sinners looked kind of good. I was thinking about maybe seeing Sinners. But I ended up not. Looks kind of good though. Are there any big directors left anymore? Like one that would draw an audience with just their name? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think Tarantino still has it, even though the last few were whatever. You're still just going to see whatever Tarantino makes next, you know? Been working through some historical epics lately. You watch Ben-Hur and Spartacus. Oh, classic. Yeah. I thought Ben-Hur was much better. It was much better. More epic in scale. More horses killed. Which must mean that the more horses you kill, the better your movie is. Tom Green getting another movie that he purposefully ruins as a grand joke. to the movie executives. Yeah. Freddy got fingered too. What a time to be alive. Well, you know, the most recent time that we kind of got one, actually. Now that I think about it. We kind of got Freddy Got Fingered too. It wasn't by Tom Green, but it was the same situation. Where people are given a bunch of money and they're like, make this movie. And then they make it absolutely unwatchable on purpose, despite the whole industry. And that was Matrix Revolutions. Whatever the most recent Matrix movie is, that was it. It was like a Kaufman sort of on the real world stage. Can't believe they did it. Amazing. And Megaflopolis, but that wasn't on purpose, and so it doesn't count. That thing was a mess by accident, which is sometimes just as interesting, but not that time. Freddy got auto-modded again. Large Jukas still got it. I'd like to see him come back. Large Jukas come back and just make one Star Wars movie. Just for kicks. I want to see the aliens he puts in there. It'd be pure cinema. I'm not saying it would be good. I'm just saying I would be there for it. I would be there to see it. Large Jukas. And Disney would just let him do it too. Because if you put new Star Wars movie written and directed by George Lucas, you just have to type that on a piece of paper and put it in front of a camera, and that's the commercial for it. $1 billion instantly. Doesn't even matter how shit it becomes. That's a $1 billion movie, right? It would get everyone. Yeah, the stereotypes he would come up with to put onto aliens would be a thing of beauty to watch. I can't wait. Please, more glup shittos. I mean, I would watch it. I would go to the theater and point in my seat. I'd clap for the credits. Please, Lord Jukas. You woke leftist alien. Glup shittos everywhere. Gorp blorpas. A bunch of super Jew aliens. He's gonna stay current, you know, and put the Jew aliens in there. Oh, it'd be so good. Curly hair, like curly lock aliens. Some Jedi goes into their deli to ask them to like interview them for the mystery or whatever. Oh, it'd be so good. The whole thing's about trade federation, tariffs and stuff. It'd be wonderful. Still less offensive Jewish depiction than Jorv's. Only money. That fucking, with a huge ass smile on its face, drool coming out of it. Oh, so good. You don't know why the prequels are getting rehabilitated nowadays? Are people nostalgic for them? It's because the prequels were objectively awful. Like, as far as the craft of filmmaking and writing goes, like, the prequels are just terrible, right? But they were targeted at 10-year-olds. That's the target audience, was children. And so children watched it, and then when children grew up, now those children are 30. And they're like, damn, that was so cool. It wasn't actually that bad. And now the new ones are so much worse that even the bad old ones that everyone made fun of at the time are seen as better. Because maybe they are. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch. Anyway, I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. You need to target things to children. He was smart to do that. The original Star Wars was meant for kids, basically. I mean, a little older, like late teens, but just nerds. Like teen nerds is what the original Star Wars were based. The demo for. You may have asked, but am I a fan of Team Liquid? I do have the hat. I do have the Team Liquid hat. It is because I watched the Race to the World first in World of Warcraft. And I happen to like Limit Maximum, that streamer guy who's their raid leader. And I liked him when it was Complexity Limit, and I liked him when it was before Complexity, and I like him now that it's Liquid. Just a very, very confident without being arrogant. Very good at what he does. Has won it multiple years. Funny guy. Good memes. Like, it's a good watch, you know? The fucking memes they come up with. Just very entertaining. And so whenever they win, I buy an article of clothing. So I bought this hat after they got first place last time. I bought a shirt after they got first place the time before that, because it was the 2-time. And I got another shirt 2 times before that, because they lost in between those two. And so am I a Liquid fan? Only by proxy. Not really. I'm a Limit Maximum fan. He happens to get paid by Liquid to do his funny raid leading stuff, and so I appreciate that part of it. You think the prequels are worse? That's probably true. I haven't seen them in a while. The new ones were very bad, but I believe the prequels... Man, the prequels were actually so bad and they did not age well. I'm not going to fight for them. I will not go to bat. I will not go to bat for either the new trilogy nor the most recent, oldest one. No, you don't understand. I hate the movie for cinema reasons, not culture war reasons. That's me. That was me. When the newest Star Wars trilogy came out, I'm like, at the end of each movie, I'm like, this movie sucked. And then a whole bunch of like racist, sexist retards were like, hell yeah, brother, it's because of this and that. And I'm like, no, it was like a bad film for all these reasons. And they're like, yeah, it's true, the woke mind virus is causing them to... I'm like, no, it's a bad movie technically. Like, don't put me in with these guys. We both ended up with the answer 5, but only one of us is adding 3 and 2, okay? And so it's annoying to be put in the camp when you happen to agree with the weirdos. When you're put in the uncomfortable situation of agreeing with the worst people. Yeah, but, you know, my philosophy on that kind of thing will put me there every once in a while. And I'm kind of a stickler about it. I give a fuck what is true. I care about what happens to be the case. And so every once in a while, I do find myself surrounded by the clock stopped that's right twice a day. And there it is, right? And that's inevitable. I would rather be right than just do the call and response for what you're supposed to do. Just watched episode 3 in the cinema for its anniversary, and even having the first 2 still in your mind, Anakin's fall seems so incredibly fast and not that plausible. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's kind of the problem with prequels in its entirety. a prequel is, generally speaking, a bad thing to do. Rewind an entire story before the story you liked and then play through it with the destination 100% certain. Like a microcosm, or rather it's why you don't use flashbacks in a script writ large, right? It's like the problem with flashbacks, except an entire movie version of it. Prequels are generally bad because of that. Yeah, it is the old saying, heartbreaking. The worst person you know made a great point. Although it's a little different because they didn't make a good point, they just happened to be right. We need more way back in the day Star Wars from when lightsabers had battery packs and shit. It's just not a particularly deep universe. It's a brilliant setting for exactly a few movies, but it's not that deep. It's pretty shallow. And it just keeps echoing the few things that are recognizable. But I suppose, like, maybe you guys like Andor. Maybe Andor is good, right? I liked KOTOR. KOTOR was cool. It's interesting to explore the nooks and crannies, but all of those things could have very well been their own thing, but it was much more profitable to market it to an IP that people have heard of. And so you just smudge and smooth the skin over the skeleton and make it be Star Wars, right? And maybe that's fine if it's good. I'll give you a film school all-star here. You can break any rule you want as long as it's fucking good. Just make sure it's good. And you're safe. It's about space wizards from the past future that get into laser sword kendo fights. Yeah, it's Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon plus World War II plus a little bit of Vietnam. It was a grand old time. Fucking teddy bears for some reason. I don't know about that one, but look, it worked out. You wanted to do a dark side run in KOTOR 2, but you kept having to cheat yourself into dark side points? Yeah, because it's like comfort the girl who just tripped or shoot the baby in the head, right? It's one of those, and you're just like, Alright, this time I'm really going to do a Renegade Mass Effect 2 run. And then you meet Tali Zora, finally, and she's like, oh, Captain. I guess we could work together. And you're like, okay. Fucking fine. Teddy bears are a kawaii Viet Cong. Yeah, that's probably true. And really stupid. But, I don't know. A lot of the jankiness is part of the enjoyment. It's all in fun, mate, right? Anyway, let me read this AoS news to you before it's too late. I've been yapping for an hour. Good yap, by the way. But I got shit to do tonight. News time. Scourge Guy ran de HeyWoah. Fanatic. Fantastic. Listen up, Umis. This here, am I supposed to listen up, Umis? This here post is all about the new rules for the Gloomspite Gaach. I will not keep doing that. Something Sigmar, Lewis the Boggle-Eye will explain it all. Gaze into his eyes deeper. Dance. All right, we'll do it.
The hunters found Barek not far from the strong point. Several of the Gyranites swore when they saw him, for he had strange growths covering every inch of his skin. Black mold, red caps, and the like. They reckoned he had stumbled, then dragged himself at least 3 miles before he died. Eager to find the cause of his demise, the hunters tracked Barek's path back into the forest. It led them to a dank hollow in a rotten tree bole. Their warden Ephraim took a look inside and found it went deep, and there was a stench, as foul as anything the rangers had ever smelled. That's when they heard them. A sniggering echoed out of the hollow. It was the eyes they saw first. Little, cruel red slits in the dark. They boiled out of the hole like an infestation, clad in black rags, all hook-nosed and green-fleshed. Ephraim raised a fearful shout before they fell upon him, stabbing with their jagged blades. Creatures not much taller than a stripling, but as nasty as a starving hound. Ephraim disappeared beneath the tide before the mob parted and something swung out of the mass, snapping trees and bone. There came a flash of metal and a chain. A huge ball crushed Dag, their scout, to red ruin. The rest ran and did not look back.
All right. I like the little readings they're doing with the people that they find in the office just wandering around. And they'll like, read from this book or you're fired. You need to make it high pitched. That's more orky. Brother, I can't do high pitched. You know your limits, right? The Gloomspite Gits received 2 new battle formations in this update. The Yiddish Hide. Hook noses and Yiddish Hide. Okay. The what? Enables a unit of Moon Clan Grots to contest an objective. Is this the most racist Warhammer community post we've ever read? Even if they're not all standing on it, they're just so loud and distracting. Well, the Sunbiter pack makes Git Mob companions extra boy-y. This one's particularly handy if you're fielding a lot of Snarlfang Rydas in your army. The little green Gits also get the lore of Frazzle Giat. Most Grots hate the sun. Oh, same, dude. But sometimes its power can prove useful. Bright Fright makes you... Bright Fright makes your own Grots run away, which is very useful for getting them out of a scrap pain-free. On the other hand, Git Speed encourages them to get a hustle on, possibly even towards the foe. Historically, goblins have always been at least somewhat yeah, for sure. That is true. Today's War Scroll offerings are for both types of fanatics, so if you love ball and chain related violence, then you're in for a treat. Loon Smash of fanatics can now be chucked out of a unit of stabbers or shooters in virtually point-blank range, which is what they should do and should have always done and used to do. They may hit an enemy unit, whirl through a unit, or even plow through several units, inflicting more damage on all of them. Ball and chain torture? Now you're speaking my language. Spore Splatter fanatics now cause absolute mayhem as they whirl their way forward in your move phase. Charge, well, spin. Duff up the enemy. Oh, the mayor of Duff City? Postulating the possibilities with the greatest of ease. Then hurtle right into them in the end phase, potentially tying up units that your opponent thought were nice and safe behind their battle line. Nobody runs that anymore, but if they did, that would be pretty cool. Battle tactics have changed in the upcoming General's Handbook, thank Christ. During army composition, you now pick 2 battle tactic cards, each of which has an overarching theme, such as scouting out the battlefield, destroying particular foes, or controlling specific objectivos. All right, I'm listening. Sitting up in my chair. Ooh. All right. Full attention. Battle Tactics Card 5 Scouting Force. At the start of the battle, every friendly non-hero infantry and non-hero cavalry unit wholly within friendly territory becomes a scout unit. You cannot complete these battle tactics with scout units that are in combat. Replacement units that replace scout units are also themselves scout units, okay? Afraid, raiding party. 5 VP. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are 3 or more friendly scout units wholly outside friendly territory. All right? Push them up. Strike. Bold Exploders. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if 3 or more objectives or terrain features that you control in any combination are being contested by any friendly scout units. Those objectives and terrain features must be within enemy territory. Okay, so you push forward, you push further forward, and then finally, Dominatrix. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if a friendly scout unit that was not set up this turn is contesting a terrain feature that you control. That is wholly within enemy territory, and that is more than 6 from friendly territory. If they tell me that you can complete more than one of these on a single turn, ooh, please. Each card contains 3 battle tactics, and you have the length of the game to complete as many of them as possible. Yes. It's good. It's good. Each card contains 3, yep. The twist is that you have to complete them in order, and they get progressively... Oh, okay. So you can't complete more than one at once. No advanced gameplay allowed. All right. It's particularly well suited to fast infantry and cavalry, or to factions with plenty of movement shenanigans. Not really, if I'm honest. It could be, right? It could be. But those fast guys not dying turn 2, so you can't complete the rest of them, is the tricky part. I guess it's supposed to be the tricky part. They want it to have a tricky part. You just hope 1 isn't the obvious choice. There's just no way it's not going to be that, right? Like, the best we can possibly hope for is that there's 2. And 75% of armies do the first one, and 25% of armies do the second one. Right? But who knows? Look, I'm optimistic. Ideal for Skaven or Ident Deepkin, maybe less so for a Maggotkin of Nurgle. Ideal for Skaven? Huh? No. IDK for sure. Skaven, I wouldn't exactly call Skaven a fast army. No offense, Skaven players. But one of these 2 armies has battle line that are what, 14 flying, 12, yeah, 14 flying base. Anyway, how many of these battle cards do we choose? We choose 2 battle tactic cards. So it's possible, if you're super good, or if you're playing against someone who is way worse than you and you're just seal clubbing them, that you could score 30 points with 2 different battle tactic cards in the same game, possibly. Unless you can't score 2 at once. We'll see. We'll see if you can score more than one of these at one time. If you can, then that's kind of cool. If you can't, then fair enough. Oh, true. They did just get the new triple redeploy thing. Arrested at Waffle House. You're not wrong. I forgot about that. That's true. And although this does tell you that you can't set up with some of them, not all of them say that. Very interesting. Look, the battle tactics system for Age of Sigmar is so bad that it almost entirely ruined the game, and I'm not exaggerating. In 3rd and 4th both. And so them trying to shake it up and do something with it is awesome to see. I can't judge it quite yet, but literally anything is better than what we've had. So good. Good work. And this feels, doesn't this feel a little bit like a spearhead thing? It feels a little spiritually spearheadish, which is a good thing. Anyway, good shit. Damn, that's great. I haven't even read what Gloomspite Geats have done yet, and I already really like this update so far. But I can't give it a grade because I don't know how it's going to get implemented exactly. But I'll give it an A for trying to save the game from the blight that is battle tactics. GW is trying to spear the competition. Faction rules Gloomspite gets. Alright, can the NPCs get something? Let's find out. Sun Boyda pack. Once per turn army, any combat phase extra snappy. Pick up to 3 friendly Git mob units that charge this turn. Add 1 to the Ren characteristic of companion weapons. Great. Any combat phase. You can off-turn charge if you so manage to do that. +1 Rend works on companion weapons. I believe the wolves have better attack profiles than the riders anyway. +1 Rend's a good buff. Nice. Sunbiter pack. Good work. You love to see it. No rolling required. Just successfully get the charge. Like, play the game, right? Sometimes you won't get the charge. Well, okay. Good luck. You know, we'll get them next time, right? And then the Yiddish hide. Grots upon grots. Pick a friendly non-squig Moon Clan unit that is contesting an objective to be the target. Add 1 of the control score of the target unit for each model in that unit that is not contesting any objectives. Trash. Moving on. Pure garbage. Garbage goes in the garbage can. Moon Clan garbage can. Sunbiter's good though. Sunbiter's good though. Lore of the Frazzle Giat. Oh, brand new lore. Let's go. Nice. White Flight. I mean Bright Fright. Pardon me. Pick a friendly Gloomspite Gets Wizard. And then up to 3 visible Gloomspite Gets units holier than 12 of them. Casts on a 6. Each target can immediately use the retreat as if it was your move phase. No mortal damage is inflicted. Oh, that's good. Yo, this is good. If anyone has abilities that work on the charge, Bright Fright is great. If anyone has things that work on the charge, this ability is good. Yeah, Holy Within 12 is pretty short for that wizard to pull up his robe and run with his sandals across the battlefield, you know, next to your guys that get bonuses when they charge. Up to 3 is kind of rich, right? But yeah, being able to hero phase retreat for free and then get all your charges again is kind of sick if some guy's still alive. That's the kicker, though. Is anything going to be alive by the time it's your turn again in the Gloomspite Gits army that isn't Trogs? And I don't think Trogs have charge bonuses. Maybe they do. Is retreat good? In general, it is. Retreat is rare, but when you do it, it is impactful. It's rare to retreat, because usually it wouldn't matter if you do or don't. But the few times it does matter, it's impactful. I guess I'll put it that way. I don't know why retreating hurts you now, because it was so uncommon, but maybe they wanted to inject a little flavor into it. Get speed on a 6. Until the start of your next turn, add 2 to the move characteristic of friendly non-Troggoth Gloomspite Gits units, while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. But Trogs are the ones who needed it. Trogs are the one who need the +2 move. You know? Yeah, they got stubby little funny legs, but let them run. Let my men run. I know you don't want to buff the things that are good already, but it's sort of like, add 2 to the move characteristic of everything except the things that you want to have 2 move characteristic. Like, okay, weird. And also, I immediately have a rules question. While they are wholly within 12 of this unit, okay? So if you're wholly within 12, and then you move, during that move, now you're no longer wholly within. Can you go the extra 2 or not? I think you can, probably, because that seems to be their intention. But it does kind of beg the question for an FAQ, right? Because this one is worded in such a way while they are, right? As long as they are. I don't think the game checks state-based effects during the movement of some ability, even though that whole thing I just said doesn't exist in this game. I bet it works. I just think people are going to ask that question. You might put one of those developer notes on it, perhaps. Trogs don't need the help. Yeah, that's probably true. But it does feel weird. Feels very gamey not to let it work. I guess they called it Get Speed to try to flavor it up as not working on Trogs. They just don't want to help the one subfaction that's already good, you know. And Gaze of Glare Face. Glare Face. You can't do that. Pick a friendly Gloomspite Gits wizard to cast the spell, and a visible enemy within 18 of them to be the target. I don't know if I like that. Till starting next turn, target cannot use run abilities. Have the... Oh, range character. I was about to say have the movement characteristic. Range characteristic of the target's ranged weapons. I don't know about this one. 18 is pretty close for caring about them not being able to run. Having the ranged characteristic, so if you're 18 away, you cast it on somebody who has an 18-inch range shot. That means they can only shoot 9. Which means they probably can't move up and shoot you if you're casting it off turn. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of finicky, right? It is kind of finicky, but it will sometimes work. It's just, man, you got a wizard that's already within shooting range, maybe. That's a concern. Yeah, kind of weird. I am overall sort of mixed on the spell lore. And it's weird that this is your unlimited spell. Your unlimited spell can pick up to 3 targets. How many targets could you possibly pick that are already in combat and not dead? Like, ooh, all 3 of my wizards are going to cast this, and 9 of my Gloomspite units that are all in combat somehow are going to retreat. Like, it's... Yeah, for the unlimited spell, I would really like to see a spell that would be very useful when it is unlimited versus not unlimited. I don't know that this comes up too much otherwise. Yeah, I suppose it really just stops the runs. They went to Walgreens. They got some pills. They stopped the runs. And then we got, what, 2 new War Scrolls. And it's both of the Spinny Boys. Loon Smash of Fanatics. 2d6 moves still. Boo. No save, 1 health. So they just blow up. But that's fine. Ball and Chain. 3 attacks. 4s and 3s. 2d3. Pretty bad, but I guess the rend is good. 15 attacks a model. If it's got a hero guy, 16. So 8 hit and 5 wound. And then some rend, and you're rolling d3s and stuff. Okay. Lost in the Horde. Pick this unit that's not been deployed. Put it in reserve. It's lost in the Horde. Once per turn army, any charge phase, you pick this unit that's lost in the Horde and just put it there. Good. You can finally hide in any of the blobs of Stabas, which is like what they should be. You're secretly hiding in one of them, but you just get to pick the best one at the end of the day. I like it. Good. That's how it should work, because it's supposed to be funny. Set up this unit anywhere in the battlefield wholly within 3 of a friendly Staba or Shooter. Then it can move right away, and it can pass through enemy models and their combat ranges, and can end it in combat. Can, don't have to. Then roll die for each enemy unit in combat with this unit, or that this unit passed across. That would be 1. Inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Oh, the d6 roll. Oh, roll a die, not a d3. And it's not the stupid 2-up one either. It just works. The whole thing just works. D6 mortals. Let's go. Dude, I like the new Loon Smash of Fanatics. It does what it's supposed to do. They pop out of whatever the fuck your opponent ends up charging. They spin around doing a D6 mortals to whatever. Potentially throw some attacks down if you itchy nuisance. And then, like, when the opponent gets their hands on them, they blow the fuck up, as is their right. Yeah, cool. Great work. Much better than the current ones. Big W. A GW on the Loon Smasher Fanatics. And then the Spore Splatters. These dude, what do the Spore Splatters do? I might be thinking of a previous edition, but do the Spore Splatters put up that screen that blocks line of sight and maybe gives a bonus attack or something? Can't recall. Give +1 attack buff and gives -1 to enemies. Okay, and free move and deployment. So no longer block line of sight, but it's one of their ways of getting +1 attack. It's Spore Splatters. It used to be a Gobblepalooza guy, but it isn't anymore, I don't think. Maybe it is. And the Sneaky Snufflers for 3 possible attack buffs, I think. Anyway, Spore Ball and Chain. Kind of trash. 1 fewer attack, 1 fewer rend. They're just not going to do much. -1 for attack characteristic weapons used by enemy units while they're in combat with this unit, which is potentially a big downside, right? Potentially halving the number of attacks a cloud is getting in at you. And then they just die. Spinning Loons. Once per turn army, end of any turn. This unit can move 2d6. It can move through the combat ranges of enemy units and finish that move in combat. But no damage. Spore Splatter Fanatics, trash? Am I being too judgmental? They don't do anything. They reduce incoming damage in a very predictable way. Die to everything. And can't fight very well. Don't have a funny deployment. Don't have a buff to hand out. Yeah, I think they're bad. I don't think I like them. Loon Smasher, fun detected though. What are they couse? What are they couse? 110. Okay, 110 for 5. I saw 70, and these were the first ones, and I'm like, no way they put Fanatics on 70 points. I almost pogged in real life. But no, 70 is the shit ones. 110 is the funny ones. Cool. Dude, free D6 mortals, right? Now Loon Smashers don't have a strike first, so they might just die, but they're always going to do a D6 mortals automatically guaranteed for free, and I like that. And it makes your opponent have to split up attacks. It fucks up their pile-in because you do this shit first. They're funny guys. And I believe you still have... Do you still have Inchy Nuisance? Do you still have the opponent strike last spell? If you still have access to the opponent strike last skill that Gets used to have, very interesting. You think Spore Splutters are fine? Imagine tie enemy Kragnose end of turn and pass proud enemy. Like tag him, you mean? I don't know, man. I see 2d6 movement and no like funny deployment business. Just like it's sitting there on the table. I feel like these... Okay, I'm too Beast Claw pilled. That's my problem, Jimbo. Because to me, Spore Splatters are like, yeah, you charge them, and then they're dead in the charge phase, and now we proceed to combat, and then you do whatever, right? But I'm too Beast Claw pilled, I think, to really respect these guys. If an army has to just march up, and you got your Spore Splatters right behind your front line of your million guys, and the opponent just has to fucking deal with it, potentially that's kind of big. And 70 points, take 2 of them for 140. This stacks, if it can. Like 3 attack a model unit going down to 1. You could maybe lean into it because they're that cheap and do some defensive mobile castle thing. I'm not going to say trash for Spore Splatter Fanatics. It's just I was reading the really fun one and then I read this one. That's all. Grots upon Grots, trash. But spell lore, I don't know how I feel about it. +2 move is wonderful for literally anyone except Trogs, obviously. I'll take +2 move all day. +2 movement characteristic should have been the unlimited one, and I'll die on that hill. This one can stop runs sometimes by off-turn casting. The ranged weapons thing probably won't matter too much, but every once in a while you'll be able to get it. You think the new lore could be pretty good? It's supposed to be used by your new chariot wizards who you want in the fray. Get mob is surprisingly evasive, yeah. What's bad about the second formation? It cares about control score, is the problem with it. So in my experience, you are either controlling an objective with your guys, or your guys are dead and you're not controlling the objective. There isn't really an in-between. Unless you're a very durable army. Such as Nurgle or Fire Slayers or whatever. And so getting a control score bonus is irrelevant. Just kill them. Is the long and short of it. How much did those guys capture for? Could be 50, could be 1. I don't care. If I kill them, they capture 0. And that's generally how I feel about control score in 4th edition. Again, unless you're some giga durable, you know, sit here and everyone says move and I say no, you move kind of thing. Toe tapping an objective and counting as 40 is hilarious. It is funny. But yeah, just kill them. Anyway, I was kind of concerned that the Gloomspite Gits one would be disappointing. Because I am a student of history. But actually, Extra Snappy is great. The spells are potentially useful. I like Git Speed a lot, for instance. Loon Smash of Fanatics, fun, detected, and remembered, and allowed. It finally works exactly how it should work. I guess they're missing strikes first. It's like the last piece of the puzzle, but finally they do the funny thing that they're supposed to do. And Fanatics aren't even that bad. I was just so excited about these guys that I came down hard on Spore Splat. I don't think you'll do this, but you could. Great work. Hell yeah. Dude, we're 4 for 4 on not bad. You'll love to see it. Yeah, fun stuff, techie stuff. I think that does fit Gloomspite too. I think that the type of person that gets into Giats does actually have a little bit of a tactician brain. It's just also they're a little off, right? They have the full dozen eggs, it's just a few of them are broken. But that's fine, that's what Gloomspite Gits are for. You're supposed to... They're like the drunken boxer that suddenly sobers up, you know, and gets like a smirk on his face and Shoryuken somebody. Anyway, that's the feeling I get from Giats. Yeah, you're right, Bartford. We got the good timeline. What was my main complaint of 4th edition is the great flavor purge. They slurped all the flavor out of every war scroll and army. And so what could they possibly do to fix it? Well, in the next GHB, we'll put half of it back in. Good. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Great. Hey, all right. Sounds good to me. And then when 5th edition rolls around, put the rest of it back in. Let's fucking go. How good will 5th edition be? Anyway, the shit's sick. Good work. Yeah, I'm something of a tactician myself, but he's got like a giant yellow moon banana hat on. Destruction Army is getting tech, insane. Yeah. Yeah, you love to see it. Damn, what are they going to do with Cruel Boys? What are they going to do with Ogres? What are they going to do with Cruel Boys? So many armies ahead of us. I'm interested in hearing about basically all of them, except Seraphon. I don't give a fuck about Seraphon. Or Illuminath. No offense. But I will read about it, and I hope it's fun anyway. No tomorrow, right? I don't know. Historically speaking, according to chat and my memory, they don't do news posts that matter Saturday and Sunday. But if they do, I will be live. There it is. Can't wait to be disappointed with the Cruel Boys upgrade after seeing all these good stuff. We'll see. What did they do wrong? It's simply a meme. Don't look too much into it. Iron Jaws. Get smashing and bashing back. Ogres get hungry and eating back. Cruel Boys. Just revert the most recent changes and go back to the fixed index. Plus one extra bell or whistle of choice. Anyway, a man can dream. They need like 3 or 4 days for Cruel Boys, yeah. No shot ogres don't get mount traits. Yeah, we saw mount traits with Flesh Eater Courts. And so we're definitely getting mount traits in ogres, right? Whatever else happens, but I feel like mount traits are the shoe-in. I'm going to give you 2 index cards to fuck off. Anyway, awesome. You love to see it. I'm so happy to be reading good news over and over. Man, it's been a while. Ogres will get a Noblar-themed faction. You shut your mouth. Don't give them any ideas. Can you imagine if Ogres got a Noblar-themed faction? That would be me. Look, there's already a Noblar-themed faction. It's called Gloomspite Kits. Get them out. Get them out. Anyway, I just heard that knock on my door. I got shit to do tonight. Apologies, chat. But I might see you over the weekend. We'll see. If they do news, they probably won't. In which case, Monday... Wait, Whomst? Whomst is next? What did they say? It sounds like the wailing of tortured souls. Probably just the wind, right? Night Haunt. Well, they seem to be in the business of not trying to help the faction's doing, or the parts of a faction doing great already, right? So, for the Night Haunt one, we're probably going to see some things no one ever puts on the table for any reason, and just, we got to do something to get somebody to want to play these. Although actually, hey, good point. The Wailing of Tortured Souls, that might not be Night Haunt. You know? Could be Beastmen.